Hi, my name is Natasha, and today I'm going to be analysing the species richness and species diversity at the Barra Colorado Nature Monument in the Soberania National Park, which is located near the Panama Canal. I'm going to be comparing the species richness and diversity at one site in 2011 and 2013 using the camera trap data collected from the site, and I'll see if there is an increase or decrease in diversity and richness of species. The first thing I did was calculate the proportion of each species that were in Site 1 in 2011 and 2013. This is known as PI, and in order to calculate it, I took the number of individuals in each species, NI, and divided each by the number of animals in the site. The results were then transformed into a pie graph, which gives a really nice, clear visual representation of the comparative proportions of each species in Site 1. As you can see, in 2011 there were only 4 species, where in 2013 there were 9. However, the additional 5 species are in very low numbers compared to the species represented by blue, which dominates the site the entire time, and orange, which maintains a very similar abundance for the duration. The next analysis I did was a Simpson's index, which is a measure of species diversity and relative abundance. Once I calculated this value, I most importantly wanted to calculate the Simpson's index of diversity, which is 1 minus D. Here, the greater the number, the greater the diversity. Thus, Site 1 in 2011 had more diversity than Site 1 in 2013, as it had a value of 0.67. Following on from this, I calculated the Shannon index, another species richness and diversity index. I mainly did this to then use this value in the species evenness calculation, which is represented by EH. This was calculated by dividing H, which was Shannon's index, by the natural log of the total number of species in the site. I calculated this for 2011 and 2013. For this index, 0 represents no evenness and 1 represents total evenness. The result of 0.22 and 0.17 are quite low, and therefore there was little species evenness in these communities, which reiterates what we saw in the graphs earlier. The final test was a t-test to see if there were any statistical difference. The t-stat, which was the fifth row down, was greater than the negative t-critical two-tail value, and thus the null hypothesis, which was that there was no difference in the mean, was accepted. This was further reiterated by a p-value of 0.3, which indicates there is no significance in these results. So in conclusion, over the 3-year period, there was little variation, and there was certainly no decline in species richness and diversity.